Welcome back to what's now called Friday Night Live, the TNT Sports and talkSPORT Hour, because every Friday myself and Darren will be joined by TNT Sports pundits, presenters and commentators from across the sporting world. Football, rugby, cricket, MotoGP, tennis, UFC and much, much more. Still to come, we'll be joined by former Leeds forward Lucy Ward, but now we're delighted to be joined in the studio by former Premier League midfielder, TNT Sports pundit, and as I said earlier, one of Chelsea's greatest ever number 9s. Who's having his chair fixed.
It's all good. I'll sit on my knees.
Steve, that's his catchphrase, by the way. I'll sit on my knees. Steve Sidwell joins us. Sidders, how are you?
Really well. Dangerously well, actually.
Why? Why dangerously well?
No, just had a good week. Yeah.
You look good.
Thank you.
You look fit and healthy.
Yeah, feeling good.
How old are you? Do you mind me asking how old you are?
Sorry?
How old are you?
42.
Okay, you look good. Do you train? Do you work out? You must.
Yeah.
How often are you in the gym?
4 days a week.
Are you?
Yeah.
What are you doing there? You like paddling or are you just working the weight?
I love paddle.
He loves it. Yeah.
What rank you? What's your play topic score?
No, I'm not that into it. No, I'm not that deep. No.
Do you understand how sad you just sounded there?
I don't care.
What's your what? Platonic score?
No, play topic rating. That's how you know if someone's good or not.
What's yours?
Nearly 5.
Huh?
Nearly 5.
Oof.
And what is 5's the best?
No, crazy. I played a 6 the other day.
All right, okay. What's the best you can get?
I don't know.
All right, okay.
Chingato and them boys. I don't know.
But you playing a lot of golf?
Playing a lot of golf, yeah. You're into golf, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you play off?
I'm gone up to 9 now. Up to 9,
right.
so...
Yeah, you'd give me a lot of shots. Well, if I'm I'm playing off 19 now, you give me, 10 shots?
Yeah.
That's not enough.
No?
No. Let me ask you this. If you're 150 yards away from the green, 18 times, right?
Yeah.
How often are you hitting that green on that next shot?
Out of 18?
Yeah.
15?
What are you?
6, 7?
You can say 10 shots.
I'm sure there'll be a bunker that I'll find as well. That's quite annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
Always fun. Well, listen, it's good to have you in the studio.
Yeah, good
Thank
to
you
be.
so much. We've got lots to talk to you about. We're going to start off with your old side, Chelsea.
Yep.
They go away to Forest. It's live on TNT Sports 1 tomorrow at 12:30. I don't know if I'm sure you've heard this. ANGE POSTECOGLOU is still the boss, of course, searching for his first win as Forest gaffer. He's been speaking to the media today. Ahead of the game, it's fair to say he got himself a tiny bit worked up.
I guess from my perspective, I just don't fit. Not here, just in general. If you look at it through the prism of, I'm a failed manager who's lucky to get this job, and you're smirking at me, but that's what's been said, right? And I can find the print that's actually that said. Then, of course, this first 5 weeks looks like this guy's under pressure. There is an alternative story that you can look at it. I came into the Premier League 2 years ago. I took over Tottenham, Spursy Tottenham. I was told by the chairman at the time, this club has to win a trophy. Has to win a trophy. He said, we've tried to bring winners in. Jose Antonio hasn't worked. We need something different. I was slightly offended by that because I see myself as a winner.
Sorry, do you know the cheek of him saying that, right? He said they tried Conte and Jose. Well, they didn't let Jose even get over the line and try and win it.
No. What do you make of that? When you hear that, does that sound like a manager on borrowed time? What do you make of ANGE POSTECOGLOU, Steve?
Well, when you got the appointment, eyebrows were raised straight away. And it just in terms of the style of play of where Nottingham Forest was and now, and you could see they wanted to evolve. This season obviously hasn't gone great. I think it's just, in terms of for me, it's the manner that they've lost games. They look far too open defensively, struggling with set pieces, struggling with crosses. This is where I think Chelsea will benefit tomorrow. Individual duels, battles lost, and it's the manner that they've lost games. Was it 3-0 against West Ham, going 2 up in the cup against Swansea? That just consecutively adding up is not been good enough to where Forest have been. I like Ange. I got a lot of time for him. I like what he was doing at Spurs, and he's obviously come away with a trophy. I think he's box office. I think he's great. I do think he's always on the edge all the time. Like what we've seen there, I think.
Why? Why does he give the media what they want? It's literally they get a tiny little stick, they go up to him and they poke it, and he goes, "Why is that?"
Don't know. And you'd like to think that with managers when you're doing your badges and all stuff like that you've got to keep your emotions in check, and I just think that's his personality. I think he's fiery, he backs himself, and he does give in. I think he bites a lot for me, when sometimes he could probably be a bit tight-lipped, and then all of this, he's in an environment and a culture where he's under an owner that is so unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. You know, if he's coming down on the pitch and he's doing that, what is he doing behind closed doors? You know, in meetings or one-on-ones or even phone calls. So, yeah, I think the pressure's on. Unfortunately, you know, in any managerial circumstance, wherever it's not in Forest, wherever, it's hard. It's a pressure environment, and he is certainly under pressure.
Well, Sid, you worry for him a little bit, and the reason why I say that is because obviously it was going to be an unpopular opinion because they sacked Nuno, who done a fantastic job for them, and they brought in ANGE, who probably wasn't everyone's first choice. But the fact that it has gone so badly for him, do you fear the worst for him in terms of they get beat by Chelsea at the weekend, and they might get something? There's no reason why they can't. Yeah. But then obviously they got Bournemouth away in the next league game. Do you worry a little bit for him?
Yeah, you do worry. But again, because he's probably come in where it was a little bit of a negative straight away. Just even with the cloud where Nuno left, and you know he took the mantle. Then the results have been poor. The only way he gets out of it, the only way, is if he starts winning. You know, if he doesn't get the result tomorrow, but the performance is really good. And I say the result, I still think if it's a loss, he's still under pressure. If they get a draw, it's footsteps in the right direction.
If he gets heavily beaten, will that be the end of it?
I don't know. I think it adds another.
Do you think it will be
weight? I think with the owner, I think there's every chance. Now, I'm not saying he will, but I just think with the owner, that's the only worry that gets me.
Let me ask you this. So with Tottenham, they had their worst season ever in the Premier League. Yeah. In the Premier League. I know they won the Europa League. We shouldn't gloss over that. No. Unbelievable trophy, right? But let's just talk about league form just for a moment. 17th, I think they finished. Their worst season ever in the Premier League. This time, 7 games at Forest, hasn't won yet. Do you think he's a good manager?
Do I think he's a good manager? I don't know enough about him in terms of people that have worked with him that I've spoken to. When I first see him, or when I see him, I get a feeling that I'd like to play for him for some reason. Okay. I'd like to see what he'd like. Yeah, I think he'd be quite approachable, like a man manager. Then you hear things that in people that he has worked with to go, well, yeah, he lets his coaches do all the coaching. He's quite sort of on the offset. Look, I think he is a good manager. You know, he hasn't done what he's done without you get into the top without some pedigree. Now people say, well, what's he done? You know, I think there's a stat where he lost 30 of his last 49 Premier League games, which is obviously, you know, that's not good at all. But he's got credit. You know, he's got credit. But at the moment, that is slowly running out. You know, and the thing is that when I watch Forest now, and then when I was watching Spurs towards the back end of the season, they didn't improve. No. They didn't improve. And as a manager or as a head coach now, obviously the motto is you need to win games and try and win trophies, but you need to improve the squad. As long as there's an improvement, or people from the outset can see what's the building blocks are being built, then okay. At the moment, I'm not seeing that. And I'm not saying that's just Ange at all. I'm saying that could be the players, the standards have dropped. That could be if they're conceding goals at set pieces, that's not down to the manager. That's down to an individual going, I'm going to win first contact. I'm going to get to the ball. You know, the hard yards. You know, if the hard yards is a 10-yard run, when you're losing or when it's not great and the confidence is low, them 10 yards become 8 yards. And then you start giving top-level players time and space, they're going to pick you off.
But do you know, my only thing with the Forest appointment and stuff, I just wonder, because he's obviously got the job because of what he did in the Europa for Spurs, it would be bizarre if they sacked him before their European campaign or had really got going. So that's why I'm thinking, well, maybe he might have a little bit more time because...
He had, 2 games in the Europa League?
Yeah, but I mean, the best performance, I thought they did look good. I genuinely thought they looked a lot better. And I thought, okay...
Should have won that game.
Yes, but then the Michelin game, I thought, oh no, at the Forest Stadium, I thought, wide open, the winning goal as well, that shouldn't really happen. But it's almost like if you're bringing him in because you believe he's the right man to achieve success and win something, it just feels a little bit knee-jerk to then all of a sudden sack him after 8 games.
But then it all goes. You look at the teams that they've played. Sunderland, you know, like, so even now, not even that they played Sunderland. They went 1-0 up against Burnley. They ended up drawing that game. Then you start looking at Sunderland. Burnley are obviously having a bit of a tough time. And Leeds, You know, if you're West Ham, Wolves, or Nottingham Forest, you're thinking we might need to make a decision here.
They're the games you need to win
because we need to win, and they're doing better than us. Yeah. You know, we can't be below them. You know, at any stage in the season. So there's a lot of factors.
Let's touch on your old side then. Chelsea. Enzo Maresca is going to be serving a touchline ban for over-celebrating against Liverpool. Firstly, what do you make of that? And also, how much of a difference does it make not having your manager on the touchline?
So I think you should be able to do whatever you do. If you score a goal, your team scores a goal, you do whatever you do.
Yeah.
I do, because it's like,
whatever you do.
Well, obviously within reason. But
over-celebrating does sound a little bit silly, doesn't it? As in, you can celebrate, but don't over-celebrate.
Yeah.
But where's the guideline?
It's such a pressure environment now.
Yeah,
like I get it.
Totally agree.
I get it with the players, even more so for the manager. You know, it is so highly stressful. You get a last-minute winner against Liverpool at home when you're under the pressure. Like anyway, regardless being any club, but more so at Chelsea, you cannot. It's impossible to control that. I mean, there are certain managers that can do it. So yeah, I think it's a little bit harsh. Because I think you should be able to do whatever you should be able to do.
What have you made of Chelsea's start to the season? Because that win against Liverpool, I mean, that could be big for them. What have you made of their season?
I think they've been inconsistent.
Yeah.
I covered their first game against Crystal Palace at home, and they kept the ball really good. They found it hard, and again throughout the season, to break teams down when they get into a low block. Defensively, they've been disjointed. That doesn't help with, obviously, the injuries that they've had. The red cards don't help as well. You know, you're just giving the other team straight away an advantage. So I think it's been a real mixed bag. Neto's been great. Esteval has got a lot of prospect around him.
Yeah. How good? Sorry, just quickly, how good is he? I've not seen as much.
From what I've seen, glimpses, and then I think the more game time when he's settled, I think he's going to be. He's got all the potential to be a top player.
When you talk about top player, talk to me about Caicedo.
Yeah.
How good's he?
I mean, yeah, listen, I love him. The one thing I can compliment on Caicedo, and I see it within my own game and how I played the game, defensively, out of possession, his footballing IQ is top class.
Okay, elaborate. What exactly does that mean?
So it's easy for me to say he reads the game really well when he's in position. Yeah. So that you can get coached at to a degree, but you're born with that. You're born with that instinct.
So what's he doing when Chelsea don't have the ball? What's he doing?
He will. So say, for instance, like very much like a Paul Scholes, when in possession. Mm. So when you're marking Paul Scholes and I'm out of possession, Paul Scholes and Man United are in possession, he would take up areas where I'm going, why is he over there? But 4 or 5 passes later on, the ball gets to him before you know it's on half turn. He's put in someone else. It's a goal. Out of possession, and this is where I see it. The way he can read what a player in possession is going to do, whether he's going to cut inside, whether he's going to take another touch, his timing of tackles. So, for instance, when I played, I knew that Michael Carrick, when the ball comes to Michael Carrick, he'd get it with his left foot, snap it with his right foot. If the ball comes to Steven Gerrard, he'd take it with his back foot on his right foot. If it comes to Sean Wright-Phillips, he'd come to him, he'd swerve with the outside of his left or his right.
Like Bentley when he got him.
Bentley was one of them. He would always be on the shoulder. He'd always be on the shoulder.
Offside, though, before VAR, right?
No. Well, Cristiano Ronaldo, his first touch would always be in the premise of his body. So he'd stop it and then he'd shift. So he recognises these traits and he gets that straight away. That's not something that you study on a DVD or players or analysts. You'll get it once and you'll know. So you'll know what mannerisms other players do straight away, and that's what he reads, and he does all of that so well. Mm-hmm. And people say, he breaks up the game, and he does. Out of possession, his football. That's what I mean. His footballing IQ is high level. High level.
You're with us for the hour, right?
I believe so.
Can't wait. Brilliant. Thank you for that. Remember, TNT Sports is the only place to watch every big competition, with over 700 matches broadcast live, including the UEFA Champions, Europa and Conference League, the Premier League, and the Men and Women's FA Cup. More from Steve, Benty and myself right after this, live on talkSPORT.
and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
How would you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
This is Friday Night Live, TNT Sports and talkSPORT Hour. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Premier League 100 Club member, Darren Bent, and former Premier League midfielder and TNT Sports pundit, the brilliant Steve Sidwell. Still to come, actually, we're bringing the latest edition of DV, TNT. DV?
What?
Who's putting the B's in? DB TNT Sports. Just quickly, Alexander Usyk has said that he will continue to fight for 2 more years. Plans to return to the ring in 2026. You all right?
Yeah, I keep dropping.
Okay. Try to make it a bit more noise.
One bit tender.
Oh, that did you? That one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine. Steve, you all right? I'm not dropping either.
Yeah, I must have a broken seat.
Yeah, maybe put the burger down. Have a listen. This is quite funny. One of Jose Mourinho's former players, Steve, we want to get your views on, former Man United midfielder Henrik Mkhitaryan, has revealed how his relationship with Jose broke down at Old Trafford. Mkhitaryan fell out favourite United and claims that Jose said he never wanted to see him again after a bust-up in training. And after rumours started circulating that Arsenal wanted to sign Mkhitaryan as part of a swap deal for Alexis Sanchez, Jose started texting him directly, telling him to leave the club. This is nuts. So Mkhitaryan said, during the training sessions, the coach said nothing to me. He remained at a religious level of silence. But every evening, he'd send me a WhatsApp message. Mickey, leave, please. Towards the middle of January, the text started changed slightly. Mickey, please leave. That way I can get Alexis Sanchez in. I mean, that's insane. Mourinho, of course, eventually got his wish when Mkhitaryan moving to Arsenal. Alexis Sanchez coming the other way.
That worked out.
Well,
for either.
For either, yeah. You obviously played under Jose.
Yeah.
Were you his first signing? I've made that up.
Yeah, you just absolutely made that up.
Oh, okay.
I think it might be his last.
What was it? Oh, Glenn Johnson was his first?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why you put you in my head.
No,
But,
was he?
yeah.
It was in that first batch of about 12 players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was there with Ranieri.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Ben Johnson.
No, he wasn't. He was one of the first that moved
Definitely.
when
yeah.
Abramovich came in.
Yeah, Abramovich.
Definitely Glenn Johnson,
not-
Jose's first signing.
No.
Oh.
Got a bit of...
Oh, hold on.
No.
Right, Joe, Abramovich's first signing.
We'll go to town. Yeah, Abramovich.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah, no, you said Jose.
No. You've obviously misheard me.
You said Jose as well.
Nah,
Yeah, so did you, baby.
I said Abramovich.
How's that chair working out?
Down again.
Anyway,
Yeah.
all of that's irrelevant. You played under Jose.
Yeah.
When you hear stuff like that he was texting Mkhitaryan every night going, get out of the club, does that surprise you?
No, not at all. He. I think when you get a bit ostracised from Jose, that's it. Like, so that scenario there,
Yeah.
I'm sure that the conversation that he's having with the board upstairs are going, if you want this deal to happen, he needs to go, right? So then he's going to
That makes
do
sense.
everything that he can, because obviously you know what Joe's like in terms of being a winner, whatever it takes, he'll do. That scenario there. I mean, I don't know any other manager that's done that at all. I've had pulling you personally, one-to-one in a corridor, in a room to go, what's going on? I've had that before when I was at Aston Villa with Martin O'Neill.
Yeah.
Like, I had to take my boots home every day because I was going to have a medical at West Ham, and he was like on the phone, has it been done yet? Next morning, you know, what's your agent doing? Is it in the process?
Well, Martin O'Neill wanted you out that badly.
Yeah. So I can see it, but I've never seen it from a text. But I know Jose, I know his personality. I'm thinking, if there's a way of getting a deal done, it has to be done. He'll do all his means to get it done.
Is that one of those where he's messaging him quite spitefully, or is it like more so, Mickey, please leave? I'm trying to get Alexis. Can you please?
Well, I'm taking it as well. I don't know. I can't remember the scenario. But was Mkhitaryan playing then? Was he sort of involved, or was he just sort of training away?
I think he was in it. I didn't think he had a bad career at Man United.
Yeah.
I think when he came to us, he was like 2-time Bundesliga Player of the Season.
He's got a great goal for you against. I can't remember the game. It was like a scorpion type kick, wasn't it?
Yes, I can't remember who that was, but yeah. But I liked him, but I just, you know what he's like. Manager comes in, not his favourite.
I just think with Jose, if there's something better, or if there's a scenario where it's a better scenario than what he's in, and he can get a better player, or it's best for the club and to win, he'll do it, regardless. If it's going to be the spite from a player or you know, whatever, it's going to happen. But more often than not, he is all for the player. He will always say to the player sometimes as well, listen, you want a good contract. If you don't want to play, just go and sit it out. But that's only if it doesn't affect him. Do you know what I mean? If he's at Chelsea where he's got a squad of 25, 26 or 30, they can afford to have 5 of them not playing. Yeah. He'll be like, listen, you go and do whatever you want to do. Just don't interrupt me day to day.
Is it weird for a manager to text a player? Do you ever get texts from managers?
No.
You didn't?
Not off the top of my head, no.
It's quite bizarre, isn't it? You don't get a text from your boss. They just stay. They sort of go on.
You know, I've got a few. When I first signed for Villa, Gerard Houllier.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I first moved to Villa, he was messaging me all the time. Like, how are you settling in? How's the family? Like, I think I've said to you before. Like, he was probably one where I was.
That Lambert, getting he?
Yeah,
so we've got Gary.
No, forget now. You've ruined it. You've ruined it. Shocking, isn't it? Shocking.
Please leave. I want to bring an extra. Have you still got those texts?
From who?
From yeah.
No, I've changed the
I thought you might have kept them on an old phone or something.
No.
That'd have been quite nice, wouldn't it?
Honestly, that's a ruin that. Nice chat, and then you throw that name into it.
Go on,
you weren't. No, you'd left by the time.
Yeah, no, I was there.
When I went there.
No. You went. We crossed,
switched, didn't we? Yeah.
I went in January. You come. Did you come in January?
Yeah.
Finished.
Sorry.
We'll be joined by former Leeds forward Lucy Ward, but it's time for the last no Googling of the day. And of course, we've got the superstar is Steve Sidwell with us in the studio. We want to know, which player did Steve play the most games? Which player did you play with the most amount of times in your career?
I'm going Reading.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, it was.
I'm going
right. Who have you gone for? Don't say it.
Fullback.
What's his name begin with?
NS.
Yeah, you got it.
DB.
Right, see if you can work out how many games it was.
Loads. Really?
Right, well, loads is not the answer. The answer to that and more coming up live and drive on talkSPORT with the three of us.
Aston Villa's official Jewish supporters group has told talkSPORT banning Maccabi Tel Aviv fans from their Europa League game is the correct decision. Chair Elliot Pollock said it's regrettable but accepts it might be unsafe for thousands of Jewish people to roam the area. Elliot expects government intervention to provide a fudge where a few hundred, mainly women, children and older fans will be allowed in.
Security will be intense and it will pass off without major incident. And then the club, the city, the police, the government can say, oh, look, we did it. We had a game. It was fantastic. Well done, pat on the back. The truth is they won't have dealt with any of the issues that have caused this problem in the first place.
Big commentators told Victor Gyökeres not to buckle under the pressure at Arsenal after 6 games without a goal. He says part of the challenge of being a number 9 for a huge club is not changing your game when you're in a long drought. Meanwhile, Cole Palmer's out for another 6 weeks with a groin injury, but Enzo Maresca continues to insist he doesn't need surgery.
Cole is a very important player for us, probably one of the best players in the Premier League, so to replace that kind of player, it's always difficult.
And Matt Beard, the former Liverpool women's boss, has been laid to rest in the city after he died last month, aged 47. His brother Mark says we should all learn from it that we must all be more thoughtful.
Friday Night Live, TNT Sports and the talkSPORT together. We bring you the last hour of our show. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Premier League 100 club member Darren Byrne, and former Premier League midfielder, TNT Sports pundit, the wonderful Steve Sidwell. The answer to the question, just quickly, who do you play most with in your career? It's Nicky Shorey. How many games do you reckon, Steve, roughly?
I would say 138.
Oh, you've looked. You told him.
It's wrong.
Emails off. 184.
Was it?
A lot of games, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of games.
He was a very good player.
Good team you had there, wasn't it?
That's the team we were talking about, 106 points?
106 points.
And that's never been beaten.
Yep.
Good team. Well, we'll talk more about your career in just a moment, if that's okay. Follow us at 7. Ali Oladipo hosts Thank Football. It's Friday this evening. He's got Rory Jennings alongside him. Over on talkSPORT 2, you can hear live commentary of Middlesbrough thump Ipswich. But now, Ange POSTECOGLOU still in search of his first win as Forest boss ahead of his side hosting Chelsea tomorrow lunchtime. That game, of course, you can watch it on TNT Sports 1 with coverage starting at 11 a.m. Let's talk to your co-commentator for that game, former Leeds forward, the wonderful Lucy Ward joins us now live on the show. Lucy, welcome back. How are you? You good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Evening, Stephen, as well.
Good evening. She's lovely, Luce. She's great.
Can you hear her? I know you haven't.
I can hear her through your headphones.
Okay, good. Listen, Luke, thanks so much for coming on. We've got lots to talk to you about. We have to talk about Big Ange because he survived the international break. Can he survive another defeat if they lose tomorrow, do you think? I'm guessing you've seen the press conference.
Yeah, I've seen his run. I mean, that's Ange, isn't it? And I don't blame him for protecting what he's done, and I was really chuffed for him last season when he won the cup, so that the Europa League, so that things just sort of quieting around. He obviously knew he was going to lose his job, but I just think that it's not necessarily his fault. He may lose his job if he loses tomorrow, if he doesn't lose, perhaps in the Europa League next week or the game after. So we're at that stage, aren't we? It's sort of when, other than if he loses his job, but. When you're looking at changing a manager in mid-season and you have a manager who works in a certain way and then you sort of two strong styles but not the same, you could say opposite ends of the spectrum, and then expect the players to then think, right, well, we can play with a bit of risk now, when the last sort of couple of seasons with Nuno, they've done the opposite and been very successful. So it just didn't look right. And I think from that point of view, you have to look at who makes the decisions on managers. And I don't necessarily think this is Postecoglou's fault.
Lucy, when you look at it, and I think I 100% agree with you about the whole difference between the two managers in terms of playing style. How long do you think it's going to take then for Ange, if he gets given the time, to kind of translate his style on this Nottingham Forest side that's been so used to playing such a successful way for them?
It's difficult, Darren, because I think didn't he have something like 7 games in 20 odd days. So he didn't even have time on the training ground. So you know what it's like. It's like travel, cool down, prepare for the next opposition. And it's been travelling. You know, I was in Seville when they played Real Betis. And bearing in mind that first half versus Betis that people seem to have forgotten about was very, very good. They lost Douglas Luiz, and that was a problem and has been a problem since. I think injuries haven't helped them. I think that the way that the games have come thick and fast. But again, Forest knew that before they brought in a manager who is the complete opposite of the last manager. So again, I would not aim at Postecoglou. I just think that once he gets them on the training pitch, then he'll have a little bit of time. But I just think it's got to the stage now. There's so much furore around it. It'll be very, very difficult unless he just wins and wins and wins, and then everybody shuts up. But it's not easy to do that in the Premier League.
No, it's certainly not. Sean Dyche, I don't know if you've seen this, reportedly been lined up to get the gig if they do get rid of Ange. Does that feel like a potentially good fit, do you think?
Yeah, I think probably a potentially good fit after Nuno. Again, I'm repeating myself. That would have been a little bit more seamless for the players, which is they're the most important people here in terms of how they adapt to how a manager wants them to play. So Sean Dyche should probably be perfect. But with a bit of time, Postecoglou might be perfect for them as well. It's just... It's a perfect storm, really, the way that it's happened. They weren't really playing well toward the end of last season. A little bit of chaos with Nuno before he went. New sporting director. There's lots of facets. It's not just one person's fault, I don't think.
Let's talk about some of the players. We need to talk about Elliot Anderson. He's become key for England as well as Forest. Is he already a starter at the World Cup, do you think?
Do you know what, Andy? I think he probably is. I mean, when he was at Newcastle, they sort of insisted on playing him in wide positions, like a wide forward. And I think when he was younger, coming up through the academy and sort of the pro development phase, sort of 18, 19, he was, he could play in midfield. And I think the obvious stuff about him is that he's available a lot. He's versatile, so he's near ever present, durable, and that means a lot to a manager. So he knows that whichever manager can trust him. Both sides of the ball, he's brilliant. Not many centre midfielders can do that. And what I mean by that is when he's, when he's got it, he can sort of punch a pass forward. When he hasn't got it, the timing of his tackling and interception looks really instinctive. And I think that's, having watched him a few times in the last few weeks, he's obviously got the right mentality. And at the moment, he's taken his opportunity, and that's all about being available and not being injured, particularly at international level.
Lewis, just on Forest, they're in obviously a bad run at the moment. How are you expecting them to not line up but attack Chelsea? How are they going to get anything out of this game against a good, strong Chelsea team at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, Chelsea will be on a high, won't they, after what happened at the end of Liverpool. But the other thing about Postecoglou, because he's trying to find answers, he's making changes. So he's making 5 or 6 changes every time he picks a team. And obviously some of that can be rotation, but it doesn't help consistency of performance. I think Murillo has been injured. That's not helped. So they've had to play a back 3 at times. I think that his best bet is a back 4, which the players will be used to. They only really played back 3 under Nuno when they were chasing games. But having your fit players available is key. And if Douglas Luiz plays, it'll be completely different. He made a real difference against Betis.
Let me remind everyone that game, Nottingham Forest against Chelsea tomorrow lunchtime. You can watch it live on TNT Sports 1. Coverage begins at 11 a.m. Lucy Ward, thanks so much for coming on. Am I allowed to ask you a prediction for the game, or have you got to remain impartial?
Oh, no, I don't have to remain impartial. I actually think...
Leeds ain't playing as you can.
Yeah, it's not Leeds are at Burnley, my word. That's going to be what's on. Right, so... I think, do you know what? The early kickoff straight after the international break, Forest may catch Chelsea on the hop. So I'm going to actually say go for 2-1 Forest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the only one saying that.
Don't put that on your coupon. Thanks as always. Enjoy the game. Thanks so much for your time, Luce.
Cheers, boys.
Thanks, Luce.
A reminder, TNT Sports is the only place to watch every big competition with over 700 matches broadcast live, including the UEFA Champions, Europa and Conference League, the Premier League, the Men and Women's FA Cup, and of course, as I said, you can watch Forest against Chelsea on TNT Sports 1 tomorrow with coverage starting at 11 a.m. Steve, let me just ask, you and me and Benny were having a little chat off air about you and your career, and one of the things I said to you, do you miss playing? And you went, I really, really miss it.
Yeah.
And I think you're the first ex-footballer to answer that question in that manner. Some go, yeah, but the fact that you went, I mean, that bad is it for you?
I miss it badly, yeah.
When do you retire?
Yeah. This is now, I think I'm now nearly 6. I was 36.
Okay.
Nearly 42, so 6-7 years.
What do you miss, and why do you miss it so much?
I miss it I miss it every day. It's all I've ever known. I don't just miss the games, the stadiums, I miss everything. I miss the weird thing. I miss the aches and pains. I miss the night game on a Tuesday where you've gone away from home and you've got an away victory and you get home at 2 a.m. and you shuffle up the stairs and you swing your legs into bed and then the warm down the next day. I miss the smell of the grass. I miss the dressing room. I miss the lads, the canteen, the travel. Honestly,
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that difficult to cope with then, mentally?
Do you know what? If I'm honest, and I haven't really said this a lot, I struggled. I struggled at the start. At the start, it was a release because I had 2 spinal surgeries. So that's which come out of nowhere. So my end was very much a closed chapter, like you're done.
Full stop. That's it.
So and I struggled to come to terms with that because not that I wanted the fairy tale ending and the sign off, but saying that you've done since 6 years old and you still feel like a 6-year-old when you're 36. It's just a bubble and a culture that I loved and embraced. And I struggled. I'm not going to lie. And I never let on, and I'd still bounce into rooms and put on a face and be like, but then quietly, alone.
What, with depression or?
I would say there was probably signs of it, 100%.
Did you know at the time, or is it only looking back now?
No, it's probably looking back.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I threw myself into coaching and TV and media to make sure that I was so busy I didn't have downtime. And I was doing too much, to be fair, at the start, and then I was picking and choosing. So I've done the TV media route and the broadcasting, which I love, but there is still a real urge to get back in and get on the grass and do managing.
Do you know, it's funny you say that because, I mean, I'm the opposite to you. Like, I don't miss it. Like, maybe because I was fortunate enough and I know how lucky I've been to the moment I retired. Pretty much while I was still playing, I was coming in here. And then by the time I retired, I've been here ever since. But there are certain aspects of life where, and it's going to sound a bit weird, but there might be a certain smell and that will take me back to, oh my goodness, when I was in the change room at this club, or a certain song will come on and I go, oh my goodness, I remember listening to that when we just got to Stamford Bridge and we were playing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So those moments, I do think back and go, I miss it, but on the whole, I was done.
I mean, you made a very good point that you're here every day. And I'm guessing that, I've never been in the dressing room, right? But I would imagine that sort of banter, that daily banter, we get that here in the office, right? With the darts and everyone out there, and it's non-stop. We get here at like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we're here till 7, so it's like 6 hours. So every day that fulfills Bentley's needs, if you like, of what he was missing and lacking from those football days.
You cannot replicate being a professional footballer.
No,
that job is like no other, and I don't know every job in the world, but I'm telling you that in that core, that dressing room, you cannot replicate that. What goes on?
That adrenaline you used to get, right, when you scored a goal, or
that you can't. That feeling.
That's another one. Yeah,
you cannot replicate scoring a goal. I don't care what I've done in life since. I've never ever felt that.
Can I ask? I know it's early, but the questions offer what's better, scoring a goal or the other, right? You understand what, right?
Yeah.
What's the answer for you?
We said the other. The other.
Yeah.
Scoring a goal. Tell you that right now.
You was a goal scorer. I don't know.
He's got date night tonight. Don't want to put the missus on.
It's a tie. There is no better feeling than scoring a goal, other than.
Yeah. I think we should move on, should we? Well, listen, I'm glad that you're speaking openly about it now, about the struggles you can have. Well, could I on that actually? Because it used to be. Thankfully, it's not so much at all now, but it used to be a sign, certainly for men, of weakness. Talking about how you felt and depression. did you talk to other pros at the time? I mean, it's not that long ago, 6 years. Did you ever go, this is how I feel? Do you feel the same because you've retired?
No.
You'd never had that?
No.
Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah, and again, whether that's probably my personality as well, being a bit sort of bravado and not showing a sign of weakness, because I'm one of them. I don't show emotion. I don't even. My wife said it to me all the time. You should how
many kids you got?
4.
When they were born?
No,
nothing at all.
No.
Isn't that bizarre?
No. That might be though, Sid, as our upbringing, because you know how tough it was, and we were the same age category.
Yeah,
and you weren't allowed to, was you? It was everything was like that.
Yeah.
If I said to my coaches, boss, mentally I'm struggling today, he'd be like, get out there, shut up, get on with it.
Yeah.
Which is like nuts, right? Because it shouldn't be a sign of weakness. If anything, it's a sign of strength if you can talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting you say you don't show emotion, because I don't know if you realise, but to get to where you need to get to in any sport, right? In any field, if you want to be a Hollywood actor or sports, in your case, footballers, to be the 0.01%, you can't be normal, because normal people don't get there.
Yeah.
So you're, having worked with so many footballers, you're all exactly the same.
Yeah.
You're all a little bit nuts. Because, and I mean that in a nice way, but from the age of 6, all you've ever done is kick a football about, and all you've ever done is try to get to the next level, to better yourself at a different club, try and play for your national side as well. That's not normal. So you've got to have a drive like no other person.
Yeah, I think there's a similar mindset.
Yeah, totally.
Similar, but I don't think it's the same. But I've played with players that were miles better than me.
Yeah.
Naturally talented, but didn't have my mindset.
Oh, really?
Like my mindset was my super strength.
Yeah.
Like I had a real fear of failure growing up. Like I was like, I had to be.
Did you ever have imposter syndrome?
Loads.
Did you?
Yep. Loads.
Nuts.
Even now, and that probably maybe stopped me from going to the coaching, managing route.
Nuts.
Maybe, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
How nice to talk openly about it. Listen, we've only got 12 minutes left of today's show, and then, of course, we've got to let Steve go because he's got date night. More from the three of us right after this.
Hello and welcome to talkSPORT Goals and taking you through what should be another busy day of football. Chance to win it!
We don't need to do that, guys.
I'm going to owe you an apology.
you get to that conclusion?
That's a weak mentality.
Oh, get out of it.
Listen to the last part of Friday Night Live, TNT Sports and talkSPORT Hour. It's me, Andy Goldstein, Premier League 100 Club member. And what club are you on loanee at? Boreham Wood, isn't it? What club is it? Burton Albion, loanee, Darren
Hey,
Ben.
hey, who clubbed that?
I didn't say it wasn't. Loanee there. It's a compliment. And former Premier League midfielder, TNT Sports pundit, the superstar. Time now for this, everyone.
It's time.
It is tight and tense.
We're flying and our fists are punching. DB versus TNT.
What drama on talkSPORT, just when you think you've seen it all.
Good night.
Don't go to bed yet, because it's our brand new feature, DB v TNT Sports, where each week on Friday Night Live, Premier League 100 Club member Darren Bent has been pitting himself against our special studio guests from TNT Sports. This week, of course, we're joined by former Premier League midfielder, TNT Sports pundit, the brilliant Steve Sidwell, or Sidders to his mates. Every Friday, they'll be predicting some of the biggest games from the weekend. If they correctly predict the result, they'll be given a point. But if they get the score in the game bang on, they'll earn a huge 3 points. We'll be tallying up the scores throughout the season with TNT's sports expert pundits working together to beat our very own Darren Bent. Now, it was a solid week for both sides last week. We had Ugo Monye with us in the studio. Benty picking up 3 points. Ugo doing the same. They didn't get any scores bang on, but you did correctly predict the results of all three international games correctly. Current score, DB 21, TNT Sports 17.
Whoever they send just getting...
Now, Sidders, there's one thing we can't have, it's Benty winning at the end.
You're me.
No,
Drive.
not you. No. I'm backing the opposition here. Come on, TNT Sports.
Look, you're trying to get a job.
No, I don't want a job there.
You want to present it?
No.
Live sports.
No. I'm here. Cut me, I bleed talkSPORT. Although if they pay good. Right, we've got about 2.5 minutes, so you can elaborate as much or as little as you want. Tomorrow at 12:30, Nottingham Forest take on Chelsea. It's live on talkSPORT and TNT Sports 1. Sid, as I come to you first, we've talked about this a bit actually in this hour. How do you see the game going?
We've done this on the Pete Crouch podcast. This game come up for a prediction, and I went for 3-0 Chelsea.
Yeah.
But what does worry me is Chelsea defensively. I was going to think that they was going to concede. I still think that they might concede.
Okay, don't tell me yet. Have a little think. Just because I've just been told over on talkSPORT 2, of course, you can hear live commentary of Middlesbrough against Ipswich. I've just been told the team news is in. So let's wait no longer and cross over to John Dunn, who can tell us more. John, are you there?
Certainly are. Good evening, gentlemen. Big one tonight. Two teams who have had great starts to the season. They've both only been beaten once in their opening batch of league fixtures. Middlesbrough can go top with a win. They're unbeaten here. 4 changes, though, tonight, and a change of formation. Bryn in goal. Back four, Britton, Jones, Fry and Target. Brown and Hackney holding in midfield. Bergzor, Conway, Whittaker will support Strelets up front. Ipswich, many people's favourite for an instant Premier League return. They've won 3 of their last 4. They could go third, despite having played a game less than everyone else. Raptor boys are unchanged following their long overdue derby win against Norwich. So Palmer in goal, Furlong, O'Shea, Kipre and Davis is the defence. Kahusti alongside Matasiwa in midfield. It's Waller, Egerle, Schmodix, Philogene behind Hurst up front. Kick-off 8 o'clock, live commentary on talkSPORT 2.
Good work as always, thank you for that. Right, we've only got about a minute left, so I'm just going to literally get your scores. So Sidders, Forest against Chelsea live on talkSPORT and TNT Sports 1.
3-0 Chelsea.
3-0 away win. Okay, what are you going for, Benny?
2-1 Chelsea.
Okay. 2 p.m. on Sunday sees... Oh, what a tough game this is. Spurs against Aston Villa. Sidders, I'll come back to you.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you were going to come back to 1-1 draw.
I'll come back to you now.
Sorry, yeah.
1-1. Are you going for a 1-1?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, 1-1.
And Benny, how'd you see that one going?
2-1 Villa.
Away win.
Yep.
Okay. And the big one, 4:30 on Sunday, Liverpool against Manchester United. Sidders?
I'm going to say Liverpool win, and I'm going to go for 3-0.
Okay. I suggest you live now.
2-0.
2-0.
2.
Liverpool. Obviously. Man United.
Liverpool.
Steve Sidwell, you're a superstar. God bless you. Thanks so much. Do you know what? The first of many more visits, I hope. Many more. You've been absolutely... Hour wasn't long enough with you. Me and Benny are back on Monday at 4 o'clock for, of course, the first drive time show of the week. As always, it's tradition now that Benny and ChatGPT give you the outro. So that's all from me. 4 o'clock on Monday. Make sure you put that in your diary. Have a great weekend. Be safe, everyone. Be safe. But Darren?
That's it for tonight. Rest easy, dream deeply, and we'll see you under the stars.